too.
Okay.
Real quick.
Sharing it. Share alike. Hello. That's messed up, man. Okay. We'll see who comes and joins us. Okay. I told my friend Kelly that she can ask us questions or say bad words to us live. Cool.
All right.
How incredible. Technology is incredible, isn't it?
Is the lighting good?
Turn this one on real quick just to see. If that doesn't bother you, actually, I think that's pretty good.
Is that better?
We could even scoot the computer slightly this way to get slightly better balance of light. And I think that'll be fine. Bad words. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Jennifer S. said bad words to us.
No.
Well, it's too late. It happened.
It's too late.
Yeah.
There's no going
The
back.
bad word happened already.
The bad word happened.
Yeah. See? Okay. Also, that means it looks like there's a lot less lag on her end now, because I remember last week there was like 30 seconds or so, maybe more.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what that was about.
Well, the devil got a hold of the internet and put the delay on.
The devil.
Yeah. He uses his delay pedal. Okay.
There's the delay pedal.
Yeah.
There's the demonic delay pedal.
Yeah, didn't you go to church? You said we went last week. You even admitted.
I did, but you've got to understand, I fell from God.
Oh, right. You are the devil who put the delay on.
So.
Dang. That's messed up.
I know.
So I want to explain something real quick. So it looks almost like I'm homeless because the shirt that I'm wearing is in tatters. But this shirt you should also recognize. And I was thinking about this.
Since we were kids.
This is probably the most iconic shirt you could ever remember me in, because I wore this shirt more than any other shirt in my entire life.
Yes.
And it's a Donkey Kong shirt.
Yes.
And I did a segment tonight.
Move this down just a little bit.
I did a segment this evening on my other show. So I can be quiet. And this was on it, and I was sort of just recalling some memories of what this situation was like. And, you know, it was bright and vibrant and too big for me because I was, seventh grade. I was 12 years old.
This, for me, was your hair.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
The hair.
Well, did I show you that picture?
Any of you that have looked through John's Facebook or whatever else, I don't know what the social media you have, but pictures of him as a youngster, you have to show the camera.
Oh, I will. So
this is John. This is John. What are you, 14? 15?
This was actually in high school right here. So
pull it back a little bit. There you go.
A little bit more. Yeah.
16?
I want to say about 16 right here.
16.
Yeah, we'll say 16.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I would have been 14 or 15 then.
Yeah. So it's coming back. It's not. I'm retiring this shirt, but I wore it tonight for a segment I was doing with the other show that I'm on, and I was thinking about all the memories of, like, I've had this shirt in my life for like 25 years, and I was going to say, you probably remember me wearing this all the time.
Very well. I remember it very well. It
Yeah.
was at every single time that I saw John.
Wow, look at that hair. That's correct.
Right.
Look at that hair.
It was gorgeous. It was this big, huge, like Howard Sternish type
Yeah,
of
because
shit.
it was so thick and fluffy. It was like a cone
it was gorgeous.
cascading off of my neck.
But you always tied it back.
Always
so
tied it
super
back.
Sleek right here.
I know.
And then all you
So
did
I
was
looked like a guitar player from Seattle.
All you did was run around saying words that were in English, but still they made no sense.
Yeah,
And that
is the basis.
You ran around making no sense anywhere.
It was completely illogical.
So those of you that don't know, John and I have known each other
25
years.
26, 27. Yeah. It's been a long time.
I'm 35. We met when I was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
So that would be.
We'll say about 25 years.
25 years.
Yep. It's insane. At least I'm not bald. That would be worse. I mean, you know, if whatever you have, roll with it. I've actually noticed that I was working with a guy this evening.
You've never shaved your head for all the hair, for all the hairstyles that you've had. We have never picked you.
No, not once.
We should shave John's head.
Well, I like it not shaved, but
Yeah, but we're not talking about you.
That's true. That's fair.
We're talking about my whims.
Well, that's true. Your desires, your fancy.
My random whims that I'm having.
Well, that makes sense.
Okay. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's totally fine. I don't remember what I was saying, and it was irrelevant, I'm sure.
You're talking about some guy.
Oh yeah, a dude that I work with, and he actually, he's got like, he's balding up on top. He wears it very well. Handsome fellow, because some people everybody has their own kind of style and then their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's kind of taking what you got and just owning it.
I don't know why that is such a cliche or something that is a point of insecurity for men.
Mm-hmm.
I've never found it unattractive. It really, really is related to one and only one thing, which is how much do you own you?
Yeah.
How much do you carry you? If you carry you, I'm all in. I don't give a fuck what you look like. That's
the thing, is self-confidence is literally, it's cliche, but it is so attractive.
It is cliche, but cliches are cliches because they are universally, widely, over time, over space, consistent.
Yeah.
That's why they're cliches.
It's kind of incredible to...
we should not be writing off cliches.
That's true. They really, they're important. They've been established, and some might take more time to resonate than others, but oftentimes, like, think of all the times when you were young, and maybe, I don't know, maybe this was just me. I don't know if you did this with your parents.
I've never been young.
You've always been like 60 plus.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, and like, every time your mom and dad says something, you roll your eyes. And it's like, geez, you don't know. I'm just, I'm a kid. You're an adult. You'll never understand. Mm-hmm. And then as each year goes by, you realize progressively they're just more and more correct. And you're like,
right,
oh, I hate this.
Start.
But it's humbling too.
It's humbling.
Yeah.
And it's tragic, and it's comforting, and it's soothing. It's all kinds of things.
Is. It's actually very good for you, I think, to be able to look at something and say, I was wrong.
Yes.
And a friend of mine posted something very similar to this some time back, where it was, I don't know if she marked it as a sign of maturity or whatever she described it as, but being able to be strong enough, have a will strong enough to admit that your opinion on something can change based on new information. That no matter how much you think you're right about something, the willingness to be wrong directly corresponds with the willingness to learn.
Willingness.
Because if you want to learn, if you want to be educated, you have to be okay with being wrong. It's like the idea of asking a question that you don't necessarily want the answer to.
So I think there's a skill to being wrong. I think there's a skill that is related and necessary, and I think it starts with willingness, but it graduates into different forms of progress. I think willingness is actually the last one. Or eagerness, which is right after willingness.
Sure. Okay.
So
being almost wanting it, desiring
it. So if initially what you're feeling is some kind of curiosity or ability to like.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Oh, she just said, I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
Oh yeah, no, you've never been wrong.
No. So,
never.
But. I'm listening.
I don't
continue.
know. Yeah, no, I don't know where it's going.
I
wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, but I think beyond being willing is sort of allowing it. Eagerness is like seeking it.
Eagerness is seeking it.
Yeah.
And not resisting it is step one.
Yeah. Yeah. Being okay with knowing that what you have can change, what you think, what you've learned, what you've been taught, literally your whole life.
It's going to happen over and over and over and over and over again. If you're doing life right, if you're doing life like shitty, then you're never going to budge.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are doing the thing that is malleable and strong, both at the same time, you're going to have all of those in different stages repeatedly, actually, like a lather, rinse, repeat.
To be consistently okay with.
The microphone is like right in the middle of the screen. Is that okay?
I mean, it's going to be just better for sound, which ultimately I think is, so it's going to sound a lot better.
Okay, then that's what matters.
Yeah, unless you're concerned with image, you freak.
Yeah, I'm worried about the transition from my red to my gray.
Like a period.
Yes, my period. I'm concerned about when red ends and the rest begins.
Well, it depends on the color pantaloons you wear.
I'm wearing, these are brown.
Oh, so you can poop in them.
Yeah, that's why I wear them.
That makes sense.
Because otherwise I don't feel comfortable crapping on my own self.
You would understand.
I only feel comfortable crapping on myself.
Yeah, like you're kind of trepidatious about.
Yeah, I'm trepidatious.
Yeah, these bright blue pants. You're kind of
trepidatious.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's gonna take me a minute.
Did you just go there, John? It's always there. It's just a matter of being tapped in. Who was it? Aristotle, Socrates, somebody, one of these nerds was all about, the more you know, the more you realize you know nothing.
Sorry. I'm trying.
Yeah?
It just was so funny. But I'm not done yet.
It's okay. You're not done crapping?
Yeah, no, I've been shitting for the last 90 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
A constant stream, like one big long tiny.
I don't know what
like
to
a
do.
Straw?
What do I do?
Hold on. Okay, because if you do it for straight 90 seconds, that mean off and on? Or is it like those pull and peel Twizzlers? It's really thin.
I can't even tell anymore.
it's all blurring together. Thick and thin. It's like a sound wave or something.
Oh, that was hilarious. I don't know why trepidatious was so funny to me, but trepidatious
sometimes
was really, really funny.
Sometimes just, it happens.
And it's inexplicable, but whatever reason
for whatever reason.
Yeah, that knocked me over.
I'm going to see
if
anybody is any questions. I've got a friend. I don't know if she's in the room right now. But she wrote me earlier and had some stuff she wanted to just talk about. We'll keep it anonymous just in case if she wants to make it public. Cool.
I would like to see more bad words. There have been promises of bad words. More bad words.
Well.
Not from you.
Hold on. Did I make the bad word promise that I was going to say bad words, that we were going to say bad words to people?
You said that they're invited. They're
invited to say bad words to us.
They're invited to say
bad words.
That's it.
Okay, so we don't say the bad words.
I'm going to say bad words.
Which one?
Probably a slew of them. Probably a good handful of bad words.
Well, there's a lot of good bad words out there.
If I'm talking flowingly, organically, I'm going to say bad words.
That makes sense.
They're going to be there.
People get to watch me eat live chicken. Also have green ketchup with me.
Okay, so we initially had decided we were going to do this at 10 o'clock,
yeah.
And then we decided it was going to be earlier, and then we just were late. So it still ended up being closer to 10 o'clock.
Yeah, sorry. I had to go get dinner, and then I had to go spend time with Ariel.
I just finished eating. John has not finished eating.
Correct. So I'm still kind of in the middle of eating. So
for whatever reason, we pressured ourselves instead of just keeping it 10 o'clock.
Instead of just saying 10 o'clock and giving yourselves ample time to do literally anything.
Ample time, yes. Because I ate very quickly, and that's fine. Just
it'll give you gas.
Maybe we'll see.
Oh well.
I'll have to keep you posted.
Put a microphone next to your tushy.
Would you like there to be a post? A post available to you?
You're just that's called like a private one?
I don't know.
It's a message. That's a text.
I guess
a phone call.
Would you like me to call you?
Just keep Skype on next to your bottom, and I'll just be in the living room doing whatever I do, playing video games. And then if I hear a toot, I'll know.
All right, you got it.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I got a relationship going on here.
Yeah.
This is why you're one of my best friends.
Yep. This is why.
This is why. Yeah. So. So actually, Matthew, he's one of the frequent listeners of our show. He asked a question earlier because I prompted something earlier in the evening that said, "Hey, we're doing the show tonight. If you guys want to ask us questions about literally whatever,
yes, anything.
What do you got?" And
any end of the spectrum.
And what he said is, "What were your favorite childhood movies?" And I was thinking about this, and I was trying to think of movies that like sculpted you as a person, whether it comes from a personal philosophy or maybe humor or maybe attitude, because those things inevitably rub off on us.
Yes.
I used to watch the Airplane movies. Did you ever see those?
Yes.
Great movies, fantastic humor, and I feel like a lot of humor I've accumulated comes from that style, very dry, slapsticky kind of nonsense.
Slapsticky.
Oh, it's great.
What was the Nothing But Trouble? Do you remember that
Nothing
movie?
But Trouble.
Nothing But Trouble. It was Marissa Tomei.
The Menendez brothers.
I don't remember what it was, but it was so great.
Nothing But Trouble.
Nothing But Trouble. If anybody remembers that,
I don't think I saw it.
Indicate the premise.
I don't think I saw it. I was too old for that crap.
I just know that I loved it and I watched it all the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it was Demi Moore.
Little kid stuff.
It was not Marissa Tomei. That was ridiculous. It was Demi Moore.
I had a crush on her when I was little.
I did too, actually.
She's a pretty lady.
Not a crush on her. I wouldn't say that per se. I wanted to look just like her.
I meant I crushed her with a big wheel.
Oh, you're the one that killed her.
That was the one that, ran over when I was 14.
Dead because of you.
Well, I liked the movie so much, I was like, you might as well get eliminated. It's like the Selena fan club thing. Oh no, she was like extorting money and stuff. That goes much deeper than just I'm a super fan. Yeah, like the owner was going like all kinds of crazy, like terrible stuff.
I didn't know she was extorting.
She was getting found out. And Despicable Me and Big Hero 6 are some of my favorites, not from childhood, but awesome movies.
I haven't seen either of those.
I saw Big Hero 6. Great.
Yeah?
Yes.
I haven't seen either of those.
It's very good.
I haven't kept up very well with the kid genres.
Remember when I trusted? Okay, well, so what is the last? When we started hanging out again, almost like 10 years ago, we watched WALL-E.
Yes.
I bought that.
WALL-E.
That's actually still the only time I've seen that movie. Is the time that we watched it.
It's fantastic.
It was a great movie.
WALL-E, I think, is one of the most poignant social commentaries and hilarities available. I recommend it definitely.
I watched The Fifth Element with my cousins probably 20 times while I was a kid. I saw that movie for the first time like 2 years ago. Fifth Element.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it.
It was good.
This is I feel like I've for some reason not seen a whole lot of stuff that I should have. Things that are
late to the party.
centrifugal, that are important. I'm very late to the party. So suggestions of movies that I should see would be a good idea because I'm evidently not one of the cool kids that.
Did you watch The Big Sick?
I didn't. You told me to, and I still haven't.
I did. So what you're telling me is give me suggestions so I can ignore them.
No, what I'm telling everyone else.
Everybody else.
Give me suggestions that are like historical things that
like The Matrix or.
I need to get through some of those.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think there's certain sort of key pivotal movies, video games, comics. There's certain things that it just makes sense for you to have said. This is under my umbrella of experience now. Yes. Like the big ones, Back to the Future is
the
one
ones
of those.
That when you're talking to someone and you say, "Oh, I've never seen that," they go, "Oh my god,
the actual full-on
what's wrong with
pop
you?"
culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody help me be more popular.
I can do that because I got a cool Donkey Kong shirt from 1994. Did you ever play Donkey Kong Country?
No.
Well, we're gonna start a podcast segment where you just play video games. Poorly.
We should have me play video games.
Yeah, exactly. I'll watch you play them and you don't know what's going on. And you don't really care, but that would be funny.
Well, the part that would be problematic is I wouldn't be advancing or improving because I truly don't care. Well, so it would literally just be however many hours we did it of bad skill.
An hour of you on the first level of any game.
Cussing a lot.
Well, I mean, even that's funny.
I guess.
I think it's funny.
I think it would probably get old, though. Wouldn't you want to see some kind of, progression?
Well, progression of your attitude.
No, I'm not.
You're not going to change at all? You're just going to be terrible the entire time?
Yes, I'm going to be terrible, and I'm going to be a huge nightmare about it from start to finish.
Cursing and throwing things. When Harry Met Sally.
Shit.
Damn.
When Harry Met Sally. I've only seen the one scene where she was faking an orgasm in the middle of a restaurant. But that was just because it was a scene in the middle of some YouTube thing that was
a compilation or whatever.
Yeah, it was a compilation.
Gotcha.
I haven't seen the entire
Goonies. Well, we watched Goonies at the store together last year, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have always loved that one. That is a fantastic film.
It's a great film.
Yes.
Great film. There's a lot of good classic films. We can talk about this for a little bit longer, then we can get on to this first question. If any of you guys have questions right now, by all means. I even had a subject that I wanted to bring up this evening at some point, and we could either discuss it now or we can get into it later. What do you think?
I don't know.
You lead the way.
You said something about doing something first and then something else.
We'll do a couple of these more questions, a couple more of these questions about movies.
Okay.
All
right.
I'm trying to think of any big ones. I didn't see the movie Office Space until about 5 years ago because it was on Netflix. And it was great, but I just totally missed it.
Did anybody see the live Alice in Wonderland? The live character Alice in Wonderland where everybody was dressed as though they would have been in a play? It is so great.
You're talking about the one the Tim Burton one?
No.
Johnny Depp with a crazy haircut. Surprise.
No. I was maybe 5 years old when it came out.
Oh, no.
It was so great. And it wasn't the cartoon. It was a
Like
live
play,
action.
huh?
Yes, and it was fantastic.
Like the way they would do Peter Pan or something.
And I often feel like I'm the only person that has seen that one, and it's so good.
Mm-hmm. I have to check it out. At your recommendation.
I have it.
I will borrow it, and then I'll never give it back, but I'll also never watch it.
Oh,
okay.
Good.
I'll say it again. Age of Adeline and the Time Traveler's Wife. Those have been recommended several times before, and I admittedly also have forgotten to check those out. So you know what?
We need to make a night of
I'm
it.
making a note right this second. I'm going to swear really loud here in a moment.
Okay.
Poop.
Let's all project what the word might be.
I just said it.
Poop? Is that your swear? Is poop your swear?
Yeah, one time I got in trouble.
Oh, you are so diluted.
What? Hold on a second. Did you just hear me?
Dilute.
Okay,
Not
fine.
diluted.
Big.
That too, but diluted.
Big. Adam Sandoval says Big. That's a great film.
Movie. That is so great.
Who would you choose to play you in a movie? That's a great question.
Monica Bellucci.
Oh, she's beautiful.
For no reason other than I think she's hot.
She's gorgeous. She's stunning.
Mm-hmm.
That woman is a beautiful,
yeah, I love
beautiful,
that
beautiful woman.
I like her.
And
she's a great actress, and she's Italian.
Oh well, I mean, you know, you can get into all the details.
I have no connection
I just
to,
like,
but it's a fantasy of mine to be an Italian woman. And I can't be.
It's a fantasy to be an Italian woman?
I want to be an Italian woman, and I'm never
Step one. Step two.
No,
Pepperoni.
I mean authentically. I don't just mean like that bullshit right there. I mean,
the real Italian. You want fake, like Hollywood Italian. I get you.
Yeah, I want fake Italian.
Okay, that's a good dream, I guess.
I'm glad you understood what I was saying.
I do. You just talking, just garbage shows up. There's a whole mountain of junk. That's great. That's great.
Fantastic.
Big was a great movie, though. I like Tom Hanks kind of just in everything, though.
Big was so great. That was such a great movie. Yes.
Scary.
That one is one of the few movies from my childhood that each scene is unforgettable. Because there are lots of movies I saw that I remember, spaces, pieces, chunks.
Sure.
Big is one that oh man, that one just burned into my memory consistently.
All the way through.
Yes, it was really great.
Meryl Streep.
Death Becomes Her.
That's a great movie.
That is a great movie.
It's a great film.
And She-Devil with Roseanne.
Roseanne, She-Devil.
Did you see that movie, Roseanne and Meryl Streep?
I remember seeing the box of it at Blockbuster all the time.
I watched that movie. That was probably, of all the movies that I watched repeatedly as a child, that's probably the one that I watched most.
You think the most?
Frequently and most in volume. So.
What about The Money Pit? We watched that years and years ago because you suggested.
I first watched it with Jordan, and the part where the bathtub fell through the floor, and Tom Hanks had this horrible laughing fit. I don't think we stopped for like an hour. We had a really hard time finishing that movie because all we could do was laugh.
Just laugh. I think you remember you mentioning that actually when we were watching it.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. Yeah.
That's also a really fun movie. I don't think I'd seen it until you had shown me.
It's so good. See The Money Pit. That should be one of your movie nights.
Sure.
Okay.
I think comedies are good. Princess Bride.
Yes, one of my favorites.
Outstanding film.
Absolutely
Outstanding film.
Fantastic.
Original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So Willy Wonka, the one with Gene Wilder.
Yes.
He's aces, man.
I have all of these ideas about the differences between the modern, what's his face? Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Who has the silly haircut. Oh my gosh,
and
she's so
Wilder.
crazy.
Johnny Depp is just like, I don't know. I want to say fantastical. Woo! Like all his reactions.
Yeah, he's very flamboyant.
And Gene Wilder was so much more realistically aghast.
He was fascinating.
He was great.
He was subtle and he was underhanded, and it was really like.
But it was just as affecting.
Oh yeah.
As the Johnny Depp. That's my.
He was
opinion.
great. I feel like with Johnny Depp, you're expecting like kooky and zany, but with the Gene Wilder version, it was a lot more unpredictable in terms of what is actually going through his mind.
And it was more relatable.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
That's my opinion.
Charles.
Lots of people love Johnny Depp. I've actually never been a fan.
Johnny Depp? I like him in some things. I like him nude next to me.
In some things like your butthole.
No. I don't want him inside me. I don't want him beside me. There's a difference.
In your bed, not in you.
Well, I want him like in the bed. Like I want to cut the mattress open, put him in there, sew it back together, lay on top of him. But I want to make sure we don't touch.
So he'll actually be the fluff.
Yeah, exactly. And so when I roll over, it might be onto his shoulder.
Okay, good.
Yeah, in the middle of the night.
All right, sounds good. Okay.
Labyrinth, fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
Never-ending Story, fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic. Yes.
I hear motorcycles outside. I'm excited.
I do too.
That's really great.
We should go.
We should go. Yeah, we gotta go, guys. Sorry. Benny and June. That actually, I like the movie Benny and June.
That was a great movie.
It's a better Johnny Depp movie.
I loved it. That's the movie that helped me fall in love with this song, that Have a Little Faith in Me. John, what's his face?
Coltrane?
No.
I don't know.
I don't remember. Anyway, that song is one of my favorite ones to rendition on the piano in different ways. I love that one. That one's fun to deal with. 7 was great. 7 was extremely fantastic.
Great movie.
Yep.
Okay. Well.
Any last ones before we move topics?
Well, we still have to figure out who would play me in a movie.
Oh, yeah.
I can't think of anybody offhand. I don't think of anybody yucky enough.
Probably.
I can't think of anybody I look like offhand.
Probably just suggestions we need, because you're so variegated that which you are we talking about? To me, you're variegated. Maybe not to everyone else, because everybody else sees you now, but I've seen you for 25 years. So for me,
that's true. You have a very different scope.
I have a harder time conceptualizing who would play you, because you will forever and always be 12.
That's true. Actually, this is actually not
12 years old.
Yeah, an unjust thought.
And it was so much fun. Like you as a kid, me as a kid.
Oh yeah, it was a blast.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And it's never been less fun.
Peewee Herman, well, Paul Rubens play me, or like the movie Pee-wee's Big Adventure, because that's also one of my favorite movies of all time. But
that is a great film.
I have to imagine Paul Rubens with like even a modicum of facial hair.
Yes.
And see if like
a modicum.
He would do that. I don't know. I can't think of anybody offhand. I'm just gonna say Sam Elliott.
I feel now like I want to figure out who.
I don't know.
Who would I apply to you?
Yeah. Who's the dude from Twilight that played the werewolf kid?
No.
I don't know. To play John Peewee. Well,
Taylor Lautner, is that his name?
It is Taylor Lautner, yeah.
Probably need to think through like females, because I'm not finding a dude in my head.
That's fair. Rashida Jones.
The right kind of, yes. She's actually the right kind of funny.
She is stunning, by the way. Her skin and her eyes and like the contrast is just like, Errol and I were looking at her the other day, just looking at pictures, and both were just like, no, this chick is flawless.
Yeah.
Floored. Did you see the new Deadpool movie?
Beautiful. No.
Well, we got to watch that at some point, but the chick who plays Domino? I don't know, but she's absolutely
cool.
She's the hottest.
Get me a new Hollywood
female. Crush. Yeah. Oh, she's like beyond words.
I don't know.
And both Ariel and I were looking at each other during the movie, and just like both of us were hearts with them.
I haven't seen those because I've had an aversion to Ryan Reynolds for quite a while.
What is that?
I don't know. I tried to put my finger on it. He stole my vehicle. He stole my car. And if you steal my car, I'm not going to watch your movies.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why. I've just never liked him.
That makes sense. Samuel is enough rugged man to play you. I'm not that rugged. I'm very like, I can change my own gas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. So I'm a mountain man. I was a Boy Scout. You know, I could live in the wilderness. Okay. Let's see. Zazie Beetz. It's the Domino actress. Okay, well, that's right. Okay, that is her name.
I'll look her up.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. Anyway.
Keira Knightley is John.
Keira Knightley? I like her.
Yeah, I like her.
I like Keira Knightley. Yeah.
I've always liked her. She's
the one I'd want to play me, the man I would want to play me doesn't look like me, but Paul Rudd, because I
love Paul Rudd.
I have an eternal crush on that man.
He's so funny that he is the most alluring. He's so sexy.
Oh, I agree. It's because he's so funny.
And it's because of his humor.
Yep.
And to be that type of humorist, you have to be extremely intelligent.
Yeah, I am into him.
Oh, Paul Rudd.
I'm into
Paul Rudd all day.
Yep.
Oh my God.
He gets my butt veins growing.
Butt veins.
Yeah, exactly.
Growth.
My
the growth of the butt veins.
What are they? The varicose veins in my bottom
varicose,
get so big that they become a chair.
Your 80-year-old woman veins.
Yeah, exactly.
In your ass.
Benicio del Toro. You know what? I like him. I like him a lot, actually.
I like him too.
His eyeballs seem too sunken in, like he's never slept a day in his life.
Is he funny?
Yeah, I mean, and in the roles where he's meant to be, he doesn't do a lot of comedic roles, but he's done a couple, and I think he's got like an eccentricity to him that I really enjoy.
I feel like I've not paid much attention to him as an actor.
Well, have you seen the movie Snatch?
Oh yeah,
I've watched that movie a million times. He's Frankie Four Fingers, and he's a terrific character. So I actually want to watch that again. I miss Michael Clark Duncan. He's a good man. He used to steal my car. I'd still watch his movies. So those days are gone.
He was so good that he could steal.
He could steal my car, and I would just.
And still, he had your heart.
Flush my face red every time.
Heart every time he stole your car.
That's right. I left my heart in the car every time.
I hear sprinklers.
I do too. It was the sprinklers came on during the rain the other day when I was coming back home from work, and I was like, "This is such a stupid." The HOA here sucks so bad, by the way.
Yes.
That's the only
yes.
thing.
John and I live in the same complex.
Yeah.
We both own townhouses here.
Yeah.
And the experience of the homeowners association has been for me.
Oh, it's terrible.
Bad.
It's just not good. They're not.
So
they don't know
bad.
what they're doing.
So bad.
They don't know what they're doing.
No.
Okay. So since I'm not sure if my friend is actually here yet, if she's watching, I would like to address her question with her present. Did you want to go ahead and talk about the concept of not just self-forgiveness, but like an awareness? Because
what brought that up for you?
Nothing specifically. I was just sort of thinking, because people post stuff all the time, and as I like read through these things, I see some people who they beat themselves up over certain things, but also sometimes it's simple to have a situation where you've been wronged, and it's very easy to identify your own hurt. But sometimes when we look at the way we've hurt somebody, it can be hard to acknowledge that we've made somebody else feel like that, and we will still occasionally find ways to justify that. Well, if they hadn't done this, I wouldn't act like this.
Yeah, we have a whole lot of defenses against our own sight of ourselves.
And so understanding how to address reconciliation with people, which ultimately leads to doing it for yourself as well.
Okay.
Because I can't remember if we talked about this last week, but or maybe just even earlier, but there are certain people in my life that I've reached back out to, and I've been like, listen, during this time when everything was turbulent and we were going through a breakup or having a hard time as friends or whatever it might have been on any kind of relationship level. Yeah. I'm sorry when I acted out. I'm sorry when I did certain things because I thought they were correct or I was trying to make a point or whatever it was, and I realized now it was harmful. Mm-hmm. But I looked at that because I have the opportunity to say that to some people that I dated that I'm still friends with, or friends in my life that I still associate with, and I was able to address them and say, look, I'm sorry for my behavior. But then there's other people that the relationship, like Juanita. Yeah. I'm not going to reapproach her because there's nothing to reopen. There's nothing to there's nothing in it for me to walk up and be like, hey, from 4 years ago, remember me? Yeah. Let's do this. You need to hear this from me. Right. That's not okay. No, the
areas of your compatibility with her are quite.
Yeah, that's closed. That's finished. Yeah, it's finalized at this point. And with a handful of other people that I've dated as well too, and learning to recognize that and being okay with that, and to look back at it and ultimately not to beat myself up over it. Not to say that what I did was okay whenever I hurt somebody, but to acknowledge it, to understand it, to say what can I do to be better, what can I do to understand people better, what can I do to address my own behaviors and actions, but not in such a self-deprecating way that I feel like I'm awful for having made mistakes, just knowing that I've made them and what I can do to no longer make those.
And this is relatively evolved, so it might feel bad to hear. Might feel bad to hear this for some.
Sure.
But the reason that we actually feel unforgiveness or blame or condemnation of another person is because we are completely willfully blind to the fact that we are not any different than that exact quality. So anything that I feel offended by, you have my word. I am made of the same cloth. Like the human capacity is from spectrum this direction to spectrum that direction. We are capable of anything. And anytime that I feel in some way, shape, or form like you did something to me, if I actually want to be able to forgive myself for stuff I've done, I'm going to have to be willing to look at what I see in other people as being something that's in me as well.
Sure.
And it has to be something that I'm not scared of, and it has to be something that I am not intimidated by, nor do I judge. I do believe that the human capacity in every individual person is the lightest to the darkest. Mm-hmm. And we all can reach any of it. And it is a decision-making process throughout life of where we fall on that spectrum on a given, day.
Yeah.
But anytime that we're struggling to forgive someone else, it's because we are refusing to believe that we've got that
same thing
also.
Yeah.
And anytime that I am struggling to forgive me, it's because I'm not willing to see that, no, I just have the same thing.
Sure.
Also within myself.
So it's like a constant creation of relativity rules.
I think it's an acceptance of the lightest and the darkest, the evil and the good, everything that is in all of us. There has to be some level, and I'm not saying acceptance as in go do what you want.
Sure.
Don't do what you want. Like, first think about why you want what you want.
Right.
Because sometimes your intentions might be horrible, but in terms of what we're all capable of, we're not different from one another.
That's true.
And it's for whatever reason controversial to people, but anything that we saw in like the Nazi mentality, I could access that if I was there, if I was raised in it, if I was indoctrinated, I would not be different than that. And when we're not willing to look at that reality of the fact that neither of us are actually better than another, there's no moral superiority in any of us or inferiority in any of us. And once you have that, forgiving yourself is never necessary because you don't judge yourself to begin with. And forgiving other people isn't necessary because you haven't judged them to begin with, because you have run around in your life looking at people as, oh, that's where they're at on the spectrum right now.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's where they're at on the spectrum right now. Oh, holy moly, that topic made me go way to that end over there.
It's not like an exclusive segment
Absolutely
that you belong
not.
to,
No.
part of, and everybody else is over here.
Are you going to actually Polaroid one section of your life where you are, I don't know, 80% good and 20% bad, and say that that's who you are? I mean, like, let's just look at arithmetic. Look at over the years. If you added every year of your life, 80% good that year, 20% good that year, 90% good that year.
Average it all out or something.
Average it out. You're not different. You can reach anything. Anything. And if we're not willing to not just look at that, accept it, and almost, I want to say, honor it. If we're not willing to do that, then we are absolutely never going to forgive ourselves. And there's a quote by Greg Lavoie, which is one of my favorites of all time, which is, light is not morally superior to darkness. Up is no more populated with angels than down. And I think there's a lot of power in that.
That's very good.
The lack of self-forgiveness is because for whatever reason, we've decided we shouldn't have the same dark that every other human has.
Right.
We have it.
It's hard to imagine yourself as being capable or, having done things that you're not proud of.
Have you done things you're not proud of?
Oh, absolutely.
I've done a lot of things.
Without question.
Yeah. Me too.
Yep. I've hurt people.
Yeah.
And even worse, I've hurt people
done it on
intentionally
purpose
before.
I wanted to see it.
Yeah,
painful. Yeah,
I've done it before. It's something.
I've had that done to me.
Yes.
In very severe ways. I've had that done to me as well.
Yeah.
And, man. What?
See this?
Kevin!
See this shit? That's right.
Hello.
Also, while we were deep in that conversation and discussion, I dipped my thing into green slime ketchup, and I felt it was inappropriate to eat that while you were talking about something so poignant. So.
Was it? I don't know.
No, to me it is. I mean, to me it's something like that where I feel
like you're just
for myself personally sort of like diminishes the impact of hearing something that I feel I need to resonate with me if I'm eating a green chicken finger.
Well, in terms of me and how I feel, I'm capable of the same flippancy. So if you feel you need to do that, I won't judge you for it.
You know what I'm talking?
Actually, no, I don't want chicken fries. I had a giant Subway sandwich and 3 bags of chips, and I'm fine for like another hour, maybe.
That's true. You have the metabolism of a gnat. I don't understand.
What does that mean?
It means you can...
I don't know anything about the gnat.
You know anything about gnats?
No.
It's short for Natalie. And Natalie Portman?
Yes.
She can eat literally anything. Nothing happens.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, she doesn't even, like, she dies eventually because she's not getting nutrition. Her body...
She can't eat fast enough.
She can't eat fast enough to survive, right?
Is that where I'm headed, where I can't eat fast enough to survive?
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen this. They usually green screen it out, but, like, on any movie that she's in, there's, like, a machine behind her that's hooked up to, like, keeping her alive.
Pumping burgers in her.
Yeah, exactly. They're pumping full burgers into her stomach, and they just come out immediately as poop, and the nutrients don't like collect it all inside her body, and so she's in a constant state. And they CG her cheeks to make her look full.
So what is my relationship to that?
Do the same metabolism.
Yeah, there's the machine right now pumping full burgers into my
but it's
body.
gonna have to get to that point. I don't want to see that happen because it's gonna be loud, and then we have to like figure out the volume levels. I'm not a sound engineer.
Very inconvenient.
Yeah, it's inconvenient.
Sound engineer.
Yeah, this is not convenient to me and what I'm trying to do here, okay?
You have holes in this shirt.
I know. Like, there's a hole in the armpit.
It's the oldest shirt of all time.
Yeah, look at that right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had the shirt for 25 years.
Yeah, John was a little child when we first started.
Yeah, well, it was November 22nd of 1994 because the game came out the 24th, and for some weird reason, my mom got it 2 days early. She brought home a box.
84?
94.
Oh, okay.
And you're welcome.
And there's no way that she bought you that when you were 2.5.
Well, she started saving up for it. Yeah.
She put it on layaway.
She was putting money aside every week.
10 years from now.
Correct, yeah. Yeah, I can't wait for the new Donkey Kong for my boy. Yeah.
That's what she
thought. So she thought. She read the magazine.
Yep, that was her sentiment.
That was,
motherhood.
And I don't know where we were going with that.
I don't either.
That's fine. I'm eating a chicken finger.
Anyway, hi Kevin. It's good to see you.
Hi Kevin.
It's been a while.
Natalie Portman is on a consistent Nutella pump. Oh, because Nutella's filled with fat.
Nutella. That's a good idea.
That stuff's good.
Yeah, I actually don't gain weight very easily. I have to.
You eat a lot.
I have to work really, really hard to gain weight.
Yeah, it's interesting. And then in your mid-30s as well, too, it's impressive because I remember
I'm 35.
When I was in my mid-20s, I could put away 30 tacos.
I've been waiting for two things
that
are not happening to me. One is, where is my metabolism slowdown that everybody talks about? And two, why do I have no biological clock that ticks? Why do I not want a baby? I have never wanted one, and I still never want one.
So if Ariel and I have a kid, are you not going to be the auntie?
I'm going to kill it.
You're going to just Isaac on the mountain, right? You're going to take it up. What was the mountain that he did that on, or he tried to?
Who cares? I'm going to end its life. Doesn't matter what happened to Isaac. We're talking about your baby.
But
the one for my infanticide.
Anyway, fantasy. Oh, that would be a cool ice skating musical.
Back to that would be a great ice skating musical. I've been waiting for two things: the metabolism slowdown and a biological clock. Neither of which have shown up for me, and I don't know if that means I'm extremely emotionally stunted in my growth or something, or if it's just not for me in this lifetime. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I've had to separate from my sister. It is over her unwillingness to admit that she was wrong and terrible accusations and apologize. She also intentionally tries to manipulate me. I believe that some people are so toxic, it's best to avoid them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. And a really big part of that, as far as I'm concerned, is the ability to continue to love somebody from a distance.
What do you mean by love? What are you talking about?
To wish people genuinely the best, because I know the energy that you put out there affects you very much. If you're genuinely hoping that people are harmed or that people, have some sort of misfortune, it's a very clear indication of where you're at for yourself. And I feel if it's good to genuinely love, and by loving, wishing the best for somebody, even if you never see the effect, wishing for someone's growth, for their genuine happiness, even if it is no longer associated with you in any way for the rest of your entire life. Mm-hmm. To want the best for them, that whatever toxicity you are perceiving that they are handing to you, mm-hmm. that you can relinquish that, but that they can also get to the point where it no longer is part of them.
And that's important, but I do think that to be the strongest in this vein it's even more preliminary than that. It's where you start to recognize thinking about you or spending time with you or dealing with that hurts me. Mm-hmm. And if I cannot deal with that mm-hmm. at this time, and the only thing that can come from me is toxicity, mm-hmm. I need to change subjects.
Sure.
And I'm not talking about pain. I'm not talking about pain. I'm not saying pain avoidance. That's mm-hmm. not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about toxicity, mm-hmm. increasing damage avoidance. If that is happening within me when I think about something, or someone or an event, I don't belong on that topic yet. I am not evolved enough for it yet.
So to the point where if you're still putting energy into acknowledging and recognizing
if it's actually hurting me.
If it's hurting you.
And I'm not talking about pain. I'm actually talking about damage. So emotional, like negative emotions that are painful, those are life. Those are part of life. And those aren't necessarily bad. They're very, very indicative of something important to pay attention to. But if something that I'm listening to, watching, thinking about is actually crippling me, or someone I'm spending time around is crippling me in some way, psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, that is not something I'm ready to even look at yet.
That's fair.
So there has to be a distinction between, am I going to deal with the situation that is damage, or am I going to leave that on the back burner and deal with situations that are just painful?
Okay. So approaching it in terms of...
They're different. I'm not talking about pain when I say avoid something. I'm not saying avoid pain. Don't avoid pain. I'm saying avoid injury, continuous injury. And we continually injure ourselves when we are in some form of judgment against someone or judgment against ourselves. And if there is a judgment going on within us, fuck off. You don't belong on that topic yet. It's not for you yet. If you are still judgmental, get away from it.
You're not ready to address it.
Get away from it. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Kevin says, I have learned through issues with my brother that you can love someone without allowing them to actively influence your life. I more or less had to cut ties with him, but it may be only a short-term thing. It's so easy to get caught up in the possible finality of these kinds of decisions that we tend to make excuses for those we love to our detriment.
I've been dealing with my brother, one of my brothers in that way recently. And
what's your solution?
Well, actually for me right now, I can't deal with him, talk to him, handle him without being sick to my stomach.
So you're just remove it.
Can't right now.
Yeah.
Can't.
Just entirely remove it.
And I absolutely refuse to force myself to do so.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't need to be sick so that I can pretend to be well.
Sure.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why would I be sick in pretending health?
Yeah. Keep things away if they're genuinely not good for you.
I really cannot handle him.
Until you're ready to deal with them. Until legitimately ready.
Legitimately ready. I can't do it right now.
And that could take your whole life.
Yeah, and I don't give a fuck. I just know that if I'm there in that relationship, deeply in that relationship with a lot of attention to it and a whole lot of animosity and malevolence, I'm not just hurting me, it is hurting him too. Sure. And it does cascade out to everybody else that I affect, everyone else that he affects. So taking something that's actually degenerating, destructive, judgmental to a relationship or to a situation is completely inappropriate to do, completely. And again, I am not talking about pain. Sometimes pain is part of something beautiful.
I hope that my sister can grow and that we can be close again. I won't hold my life in the meantime, though.
Good.
That's fair. It's family is wonderful. But if you are still weighing the obligation over your own best interest, reassess.
Yeah, please.
Because no matter how much you love them, if they are bad for you, it is not necessary to be there because they are family.
And also understand if they're bad for you, I promise you are bad for them too. It's not something that's mutually exclusive. So
this person is just bad for me. And
that's it.
And that's it. Yeah.
No, and that's why the whole self-forgiveness or forgiveness of other things or people or situations does come into play. If someone is bad for me, if something is bad for me, I am not helping it either.
That's true.
I am damaging it as well. If I am engaging in it continually, I am participating in whatever destruction or damage is going to happen. So if you cannot be around someone or be around a topic in your head, because sometimes it's about forgiving ourselves. If you can't be around someone without feeling animosity, or be on a topic about yourself without feeling animosity towards yourself, that topic is not ready for you yet. It will get ready. It doesn't stay avoided forever. It's scheduled. We can't avoid ourselves forever. It comes looking for us. So it's not something that you have to go chase down. There's not an emergency. You live your life to the best that you can. And when you have the capacity to deal with something that used to kick your ass, then deal with it. But until it doesn't kick your ass anymore, don't go there. Don't do it. And again, for the 75th time, I'm not talking about pain. I'm not talking about the emotion. I'm talking about actual detriment. If something is detrimental to you, leave it for now. Leave it.
One of the most common situations I see is people that choose to hold on to those that they love because they say, I want to help, I want to get better, I want you to get better. And it's a very altruistic concept, but you have to get to a point where you understand what a limit on that is, and when it's going to be too much where it's genuinely harming both ways.
And not just a limit, but I think it has to do with also looking at why. Okay, so I'm altruistic. I feel altruistic towards you.
Sure.
Why? Is it? And if I really am willing to honestly explore that, I will find that it's for you, or I will find that it's for soothing my ego, or I will find that it's soothing your ego, or I will find that it's healing something in me. You have to look at why you're doing something. And if you don't agree with the why, if the why doesn't fit into your value system, it is not your topic for right now. So I could be altruistic towards you, seemingly altruistic towards you, for wonderful reasons and for not wonderful reasons.
That's true.
Why we do what we do is completely more important than what we do. What we do is always predicated and based on our value system and how we feel about something.
Being single is better than being in a bad relationship. Yeah. Universally, I would say a relationship with friends, with people, with family, with lovers. I mean, it's really, if somebody is bad for you,
with a job,
with a job, the relationship you have with work, or that's all. That's all I got. I'm out of here.
Good night.
Bye. Just leave the computer here and you can keep talking. I'll go watch you from the house.
Click.
Yeah, and I'll write nasty questions in.
Yeah, you could do that, but I'll just close the thing. It'll be over.
I'll ruin the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna break it.
But yeah, I think being single is also an interesting sort of stigma that I kind of hope that people sort of stop feeding into it being a negative thing. Because for a very long time, especially after Christina, I was single very much on purpose until I felt that I was ready, or I had found something that was going to complement what I needed appropriately.
And after her, it was first Ashley. Is that right?
After her, no, Ashley came before her. Because Ashley was actually right before you, the second time.
Okay.
It was weird. Yeah, Ashley was 2013.
I don't keep track.
It was Haley. Haley was actually one of the...
I don't remember that name at all related to you.
No. And she's somebody I've closed off ties with entirely. And, I saw her one day at Walmart and she was just walking by.
Fuck her.
Nah. I mean...
Just kidding.
Yeah, she was nice. She was a very nice girl, and I feel very bad that things went the way they did. And that actually I very much I put on me because I was not ready, and I stepped too far past my own boundaries. And then when I rescinded things, I realized it was a very painful, unnecessary situation, and consequently to myself. I tried and I wanted, and I was not there. I was not ready for that, and I damaged somebody.
You care a lot about how you affect people.
I do. It's hard to know that you've hurt somebody. In fact, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's so that was rough for me, but that was actually right around the time that we started doing this for the first time. Was this whole thing, and I after that I decided to really not worry about it too much. I was still going through a lot of healing with Chris, and here and there I was getting sort of involved on some levels, and even then I made a couple sort of missteps and was like, I got to make sure I'm here for the right reason.
Yeah. And
it was hard. I'm human. I'm gonna mess up consistently for the rest of my life. Ideally less and less, but maybe just in newer ways, so I can constantly learn from them.
Yeah.
Whatever the case, it's gonna happen. Sorry. And hopefully I hurt less and less people along the way, but inevitably it still occurs. It still will.
Life is life.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Lasers, race cars, aeroplanes.
You wrote that.
It's a Duck. I actually wrote the lyrics for DuckTales, and they're like, "Hey, can we use your song?" And I was like, "Sure." It's about a duck, and they're like, "That's cool. We're making a cartoon about a duck."
What was the compensation that you required?
I said, none of them can wear pants.
Well, you got it.
I got it. Yep, exactly. We got a couple other here. Let's see.
Love you too.
My mom has used the "what if he's in a car accident in your fight" as the last interaction you have with your brother.
Yeah.
Just a few times. I can't do that anymore. That's a hard one to bring up, because I know I very much want the idea of I don't want to not have the opportunity to say something I wish I would have.
But again, that's some kind of obsession on one moment in that entire thing.
It is.
What is the entire picture? Because you know what? Like, there are going to be situations where the last thing that you talked about with someone was not 1,000% benevolent.
That's true.
That's going to happen.
That's
true. Regular. Just because it was like a painful interaction in no way, shape, or form means that it was not meaningful and part of the loss and the gain and the grief and all of that of that person. Yeah. So the entire picture of you and that person, that relationship, has to be what you're willing to look at. Because if we Polaroid one moment with anything, anyone, any place that we're at in life, any work that we do, if we Polaroid it, just one spot, and then call that the sum total of it, we are completely stealing from ourselves all of the rest of it.
Yeah, you discredit the entire existence of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that from the perspective of just outside. I mean, I had a horrible thing with my mom when she died. It was awful, awful, awful. And to be able to integrate that, knowing what I did not do for her, knowing what I maybe could have done better, knowing what she could have done better, all of that, being able to integrate all of it together is why I can think about her and not be in pain, is because she is not just that to me. She's not somebody I fucked over only. She's not someone that fucked me over only. She's something completely else with a whole array. So in a way, it's almost like looking at the significance of someone as being linear. Like the last thing I had with someone is what it meant.
That's the only part of it that exists.
And it's a linear thing. That's a chronological mistake.
Sure. It's a sphere. It's a spectrum. It's not just
it's got to be 3, 4, 5, 6 dimensional. You can't just linearly look at a relationship with someone and say the last thing I said to someone is the qualifying agent of the relationship. That is insane. And I understand why parents tell us that, because don't be an asshole. They're telling us not to go run around in the world being ridiculous, which is important and which is good. But the sentiment in and of itself is not to be worried about the last thing you do in every way, in every place, in every relationship.
That would drive you to the point of madness.
That would be crazy making, because you cannot 100% all the time bring the best things to everything. It's not possible if you are a human being. If you're a Homo sapien, these things are going to be issues. That's why we're here talking about this stuff.
That's a phenomenal answer. I think that hopefully clears it up for a lot of people and not getting caught up. And not saying that things or people aren't important at all times.
No.
But
and I know it's not a polite way to talk about it. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I think it's a very good thing to hear and at least consider. At least, now it's in your spectrum of understanding of listening and sort of assessing.
It doesn't mean it's right.
How you interact with people. Do you factor that in? Do you not factor it in? It's one more thing to sort of put on tap for how you choose to interact.
How I see things, it's not necessarily that it's right. It's where I'm at in my understanding now in my life at this point.
Sure.
And I do believe that the worst thing we can do to someone is to do for them what they shouldn't do for themselves. So if I neglect somebody that is completely deciding to fail, that's the best thing I can do for them. And if I did anything else, that would, for me and for them, be an actual injustice to their capability, to their ability. Everybody has a mind. Everybody has a heart. Everybody has legs. I know it's hard for all of us. I understand that. Duh. But when it comes to, I need to protect you over protecting me, then where is that? Where do you think that's going to go? Where is that going to go? If I weaken myself, how am I of any ability for anyone else? It doesn't even make sense logically if you actually break it down. It makes no sense to put other people's egos or other people's feelings or other people's sensations above you. It's insane. You have to put you first, and I don't mean what you want or your ego. I mean, what is your highest good? That's got to be the first thing that you serve, and then look at other people's highest good. I'm not talking about egos. I'm not impressed with that either.
Well, something that comes up with me very, very frequently, and I've had to actually, once you sort of gave this concept to me a while back, really made me rethink how I interact with people, because there was a time when I was saying that I felt resistant towards help from others, because I liked it, but at the same time, it was kind of like, I don't want this. But the concept that you introduced was, if I ask somebody not to help me, somebody who wants to help me, and I disallow that,
you're cutting off their channel.
I disallow them from being the highest, best version of themselves they can be, which is a disservice to them, because I would do the same thing. I would want somebody to accept my help. So if I disallow that from them,
out of some sense of inferiority,
it's like a weird kind of like contradiction to the self.
It's a rejection of helping them be the biggest, most expansive, beautiful creature they could possibly be.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people don't want to help you for some stupid reason. Sometimes people want to help you because they love you.
Yeah.
They care. They want to. And if you're going to cut them off from that, you cut them off from that highest self.
And listening to that and understanding
and you have
that
no right to do that
is resonated with me clearly. In fact, it comes up often. I even told that to somebody else recently because they didn't want to accept help from something, and I said, "You're not letting them be the best version." And they were like, "Man," and I was like, but it was a really good thing, I think, for me to hear and understand. So we still have some more to catch up on. I can't let the fear of loss. Okay, let's see. Sorry, this is kind of a can of worms for me, and that's fine.
That's completely okay.
That makes sense. Love you both, John and Michelle. Bring out your black book of girlfriends, John.
My God, I need a timeline.
I mean, I can give you a timeline.
I don't really care.
I know.
I don't want one. But if I did need to understand the sequence of things, it would be.
At some point, we could
would be this.
What would be interesting? Yeah, because there was a lot of people, a lot of learning, a lot of situations where I did terrible things, and where sure, they may have as well too, but I wasn't any better in those. In most cases, really, I would look at.
And I remember times talking to you where you were very, very, very self-righteous about some things.
Sure.
Like,
absolutely.
She did this to me.
Yeah, I'm the victim.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the full story. That wasn't everything.
That was my interpretation, so I didn't feel bad about.
So you didn't have to feel bad about what happened. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because being a human is complicated.
Yeah, if I'm a victim, I don't have to. Yeah, I don't have to do anything but be a victim. That's a very simple spot to stay.
Interesting, though, would be to look at this and sort of see if I can pinpoint during these relationships and when they happened and where I was, how far along I had come and what my thoughts were. And during the next, experience and encounter, where was I then? How did I feel? What else did I understand?
Yeah.
And it would be interesting even for me to look at sort of objectively, because I can internalize these things all day and think of, well, this person did hurt me because they did this. I was a factor just as much. Mm-hmm. I was negligent, so they
we're not at the mercy of others.
No.
Where we got the idea to blame other people for what we tolerate, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's interesting. And so I actually kind of want to do that at some point, is just sit down and objectively look at it and say, here's where I improved and here's where I continue to mess up. And, it was both, really. Mm-hmm. It was a constant state of, the balance of, here's the whole brick. Half of it was me screwing up. Half of it was me learning. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Yes.
Every single time.
Yep.
Yep. Accountability. Taking accountability for all of it, the whole package, everything that happened.
And back to what I was saying earlier, not judging it from the start. You're not supposed to be good at everything.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to know how to approach every person or every relationship. That isn't supposed to be something you just innately have under your belt as some sort of like honed skill for decades of honing. You're not going to have it until you fuck it up a few times.
There's one exception. Donkey Kong.
Yeah, except Donkey Kong.
Who's good at Donkey Kong? John's good at Donkey Kong.
Whoever was born to wear that
My mom knew 10 years before. She was all... This boy destined for great things.
This boy's destined for great things.
Yeah, so she got me the Donkey Kong shirt 10 years in advance. Yeah. Actually, this is actually a lesson that I give to people, because I've got a friend who's like, "Oh, Mega Man is so hard."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, of course it is." And he goes, "But you're so good at it." I was like, "Yeah, because I die a lot. I mess up.
Yeah.
I constantly make mistakes. The only reason I'm good at it is because I've failed infinitely more times than I've ever succeeded at this game. Straight up.
Yes.
If I wanted to beat this game in 30 minutes, it's because I learned how to die 10,000 times in a billion hours.
Yes.
That's what happened.
Yep.
Don't be afraid of failure. Ever. It's still a stigma that every now and then you get hung up on, because it's always like, well, I should be good at this by now. You're still learning.
Yeah.
If that's what happens, you're still learning, and there's nothing wrong with that.
The only reason you would repeat the same mistake is if you're doing that I should have to begin with.
Yeah.
If you don't do that to yourself, you actually will do it differently next time.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that I should have to yourself, then you're going to do the same thing again.
Mm-hmm. So what you can do, and this is actually a great way to practice doing anything better, is if you make a mistake, cut off a limb.
Yeah.
Remove
Take skin off of yourself.
You give yourself skin grafts until eventually
take off your skin.
You get down to the muscle. Okay, I was actually discussing with a friend the other day. Do you think you could like skin your arm so lightly, like a skin graft that was so on the surface that you could make a full replica like glove out of your hand that's like someone else could slip into?
I hope so.
I hope so too. That's romantic. That's how you want a man to approach you?
Oh, I've always wanted
Wear this. And just it looks like a...
And I'll put my hand in it.
It's like the Cinderella story. If it fits, that's your boy.
Oh, that's my glass slipper. Is your shed.
Girls are weird, man. Girls are weird. I'm dealing with that constant failure struggle with Dr. Mario right now. Oh, yeah. I dealt with Dr. Mario's failure struggle so much that I stopped playing it. And I just played a different game instead. And that's also okay, by the way.
Dr. Mario. That's a game?
It is a game.
By itself? By
itself. And it's Mario and he throws little pills in a bottle.
I believe all y'all.
Oh, good. Yeah. Ew. Oh, the skin glove thing. Yeah, that's... Yeah. People aren't into that. This is definitely from the year 3027. So... Yeah. You know,
like a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. Yeah. BC. Yeah. The Hittites were really into this.
BCE, if you want to be nice and liberally politically
correct. Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Also,
be careful.
I've slowed down on my chicken finger consumption.
You have a whole other box.
Oh, I know. I'm probably going to take them home. I had a burger too in the car. So I was trying to eat as much as possible.
I'm going to confess something.
Okay, please.
I ate 2 foot-long sandwiches.
2?
From Subway.
Okay. Oh, you know what? This actually prompts me to ask you earlier, what kind of sandwich? Were they both the same sandwich?
No.
They're 2 different sandwiches.
Yeah. I did a veggie and a meatball.
At the same time or
well, I ate one and then I ate the other.
You didn't like double fist it and like alternate?
No, I did not do that.
That feels like you kind of missed out on something.
No, that's too slutty. I had one.
2 big bready dicks.
I had one and then I had the next.
A bread golem blowjob.
Yeah, and I want to avoid those if I can.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys they're not clean.
Yeah. I'm not doing the whole, I should have known better. I'm actually just doing better now.
Oh, okay, good. You've improved.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Oh, okay. Your cognizance has reached an all-time high.
I'm not tag teaming the same way. Yeah.
Okay.
Good for me.
So what kind of bread do you get?
Wheat. Always wheat.
Why? Why always?
I actually like the balance between sweet and just bread.
That's fair.
A lot better than anything. The Italian is good too.
The
ones that have like crap on them, like the oat crap and the Italian whatever, I actually don't like those as
like
much.
Asiago cheese or whatever.
Yeah, no, not so much. And bagels, yes.
That's fair. Okay.
On bagels, I want all kinds of weird stuff, but on like a bun for a whole sandwich that I'm eating, I want it less ornate.
Okay. Well, have you tried the flatbread? That's my go-to. I'm into it. I'm way into it.
Okay, I'll try that.
They also have wheat flatbread. They have white and wheat.
I'll try that.
Give it a go. See what you think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Ooh, Mickey.
Oh, Mickey.
You see? double fist my foot on Mickey Mouse. That's kind of hot. Do you think the Minnie Mouse voice is hot?
Minnie Mouse?
Minnie Mouse, because that's Minnie
Yours?
Mouse. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, not like the stupid fake Disney shit. Like, wait, no. Hold on.
No, I think it's disturbing and it turns me off. It turns everyone off.
Does not turn everyone off.
It's just funny, that's all.
Ariel is turned off by it.
Oh, yeah.
Ariel wants to divorce me every moment of every day.
Every time you make that voice, she wants to vomit.
I think that's objectively true.
Yes, I think so too. It makes me want to barf.
But yet she doesn't leave, so I think secretly.
But I love it too. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Well, it's like when you watch nasty things on the internet because you're so enamored by the idea of something that you're not normally accustomed to. You kind of want to get a glimpse into this world just for the novelty of it.
For the shock.
Yeah.
Because it expands your your stomach abilities.
Predictive text suggested Mickey after I typed ooh. That's correct. That's correct. That voice actually stems from Michael Jackson. Did I tell you that?
That's funny. Yeah. His corrective text.
I know. It's ingrained. It's societal now. People are going to start.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Typing that in their phones. They're like,
catch on like wildfire.
I know. I'm excited.
Uh-oh.
So what I'd like to do, actually, is I want to get to my friend's question. In the event that she just watches this later, it's something that... I sent her the link, but she's not unavailable, which is fine.
Yeah.
So... my question would be, what is the meaning of life? 42 or 143? Anyway, let's go into the actual meat of this. As to the forgiveness of oneself, that's a difficult process for some. In life, I'm sure I've hurt others, and I've asked many of them for their forgiveness. I think being a better person daily and choosing to make different choices than the times before, that truly shows forgiveness. Change in actions, and forgiving oneself, you sort of have to let go that you're any sort of victim. You have to love yourself to the core and to be able to give it out freely. So, I mean, essentially, what you said. Mm-hmm. She gets it.
Go ahead.
She's awesome, by the way.
Take that label off.
Yeah. Let's see. My recent past mentioned in one of my above messages here that he has already washed over me. I've forgiven him for him hurting me because I looked at the root of his actions and I understand them. And I chose to love him and try again. Didn't work. Totally cut me in two. But I'm thankful I'm the best version of me I've ever been. Bottom line, love is always the answer, either within yourself or outwardly towards others. Love you.
Bravo.
It was a good observation, and she wrote that to me earlier. And she's great. She's one of those people that when you talk, you have the conversation, you can just sort of feel like she's got a good spirit that's working so hard at being loving and expanding and just really strong energy. And she posts a lot of really good, very healthy kind of things, and it's really, really nice to see. So let's see what we got as TechLord07. Hey everyone, I hope I haven't missed out on too much of the fun.
Who's that?
We've had some good conversations. I actually don't know. Okay. I'm really bad with computer tag names and stuff. So
mine's easy. It just says my name.
Michelle. Yours simple. There needs to be something really cool like
it doesn't. No.
Dark God of Demons 420.
Okay. Go find her. She's there.
42069.
Yeah, I just did it.
Oh, you're online now.
Yeah,
you just logged in.
Yeah, I logged in and I changed it for you.
Cool. We're gonna go fight in Call of Duty.
So the victim unstancing. Completely unstance yourself as a victim.
Yeah.
Unvictimize yourself.
Yes.
It is not helpful.
I remember. Yeah.
I like though what she said about. I liked that what she said because I completely agree. And I really like what she said about looking at where he came from and why he did it. People don't do anything for nothing.
Right. There's something. There's
if
a
someone
stem.
is doing something, there is a stem. There's absolutely a stem, and it's absolutely a root. And I'm not saying it's benevolent. It might be bad. It might be straight up bad. But to actually look at someone's actions and just call it wrong or right or something is a huge disservice to the entirety of your own self. Look at what actually happened and be willing to look at the entire picture of it.
Your name is the Blue Lady.
Yeah, the Blue Lady.
You have become.
Oh, I should.
You've transcended.
I have Kevin.
We all seek to become the Blue.
I have my Mewtwo, my Mewtwo stuffed animal. He's right by my bed.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's important. The Blue Lady.
And I've started calling the Blue Lady a he, which means
You evolved.
I've evolved. I've evolved in regards to the gender of Mewtwo.
That's fair.
Or the genderlessness.
That's actually even more fair, is because Mewtwo exists not on the gender spectrum. It's sort of a neutral, It's a Pokemon. It's not even a real creature.
It's the thing you like.
It's the thing that I like. In fact, I like it so much it's on my body until I'm dead. Unless my arm gets chopped off before I die, in which case.
I do think that's one of the funniest things that have happened between
the Blue
us.
Lady?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's where that came from.
It was abstract, but it was also the most telling kind of relationship that we have where you're on the little opposite end of video games that I am.
Yes.
You don't care.
Yeah. No.
Except for the Smurfs game on the Atari.
Yes.
The one exception I remember.
Yes.
See? Okay. Yeah. And to anybody who doesn't know the story, in fact, we might have some new people in here who would like to know.
We'll do it. We tell it every fifth podcast.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of the perpetual theme of this whole show.
All right, let's do it.
For namesake.
Let's do it.
So Michelle and I dated 2013. We also dated 2008. So every 5 years, things happened. I got to tell Ariel, we're due.
It was 2012. I don't know. Never mind. Keep going. Forget it. It doesn't matter.
That's fine. Anyway,
5-ish, 6-ish.
We dated briefly for a couple months, and I was playing a lot of Smash Brothers at the time, and
and there were Smash Brothers parties all the time in your garage.
Yes.
And
in the living room,
upstairs.
And so constant Smash Brothers, and I would always play as Mewtwo.
Yes.
And you, I think, identified it visually by the character I chose, and maybe by the tattoo on my arm.
Yes.
And those are like the two telling factors. You didn't care. No other information was given to you. So one day we were at Walmart, and there was a package of Pokemon cards by the register with Mewtwo on the front. And Michelle picks it up and goes, John, it's that blue lady you like. And she shows it to me because I was like, I don't want to know what. And she shows it to me, and sure enough, there's a picture of purple Mewtwo.
Blue.
All right, well, and indigo.
Blue woman.
Cobalt. And
Cobalt.
so...
Indigo blue.
And so...
Azul.
Azul, yeah,
Azul.
Exactly. Cochina azul.
Yeah, exactly.
And I looked at it and I was like, what on earth? And I was trying to decipher it because I was looking at it and still I didn't see a blue lady.
Which blue lady are you referring to?
Yeah, I totally didn't get it.
It was Mewtwo.
And then
Mewtwo was a blue fucking chick.
You know?
Still, in
your mind?
In my initial conceptualization of Mewtwo, it's a female and it's blue.
When you submitted the paperwork to Nintendo for this new character, you're like, here's a blue lady. And they're like, well, let's turn it purple and call it Mewtwo.
Yeah, they were like, let's just shift it a little bit to being a different color and a different gender.
Right, exactly. And so it was no longer the blue lady, but that's good for copyright purposes.
Yeah, blue lady.
Yeah, and so now we have...
It was hilarious. We've told the story over and over again, so it's not quite as laughable to us anymore.
Yeah.
But at the time...
It's still very good.
John, crapped himself. It was so...
I didn't understand.
It was so absurd to him that I saw Mewtwo as a blue chick.
It became legendary. Yeah, so this entire podcast of self-help and love and acceptance is based off of a misnomer of a Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon.
So, which is kind of great because it was very telling of you and I as a whole. So it makes complete sense for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It does.
It's pretty great.
And that's how we're here.
Mewtwo is purple though, Michelle.
Yeah, well, no.
Yeah,
no.
Jawohl.
No.
Yeah.
My stuffed animal, I took a blue marker to it.
It just dyed it.
And I just dyed the whole thing. And I was like, no, you're an imposter.
You take
until you're blue.
50 blue Crayola markers, throw Mewtwo in the washing machine with it, turn it on for 10 minutes and let it sit there.
I put it. Yes, I doused it in Tide Pods.
Right, exactly.
Until it was the right color.
You just poured them on top, but then didn't wash it.
No,
it's still just covered in sticky Tide goo.
Yeah, it's sticky.
Oh, it's great. Let's see. I sent a quick something to your Facebook Messenger, John.
Uh-oh.
Let's see.
Uh-oh.
Let's see here. Is this something to read out loud?
He has apologized.
Let's see. Well,
sorry about the douchey moment.
Well, this is interesting. I mean, if this is something that you're totally down, I'm sorry in advance.
I don't know if I would call that douchey.
Well, because if we're allowed to go ahead and read this out loud, and he sent it here because it's a lot easier to see a long message here than it is on the computer. And so, cool. Okay. And this is something that I've also struggled with. So this is a very good thing.
All right.
Do you
summarize?
Yeah. Do you think back sometimes when you did or said something insanely stupid and just kind of squirm? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I can think of dozens of examples where I've said things I'm absolutely not proud of. I've, made jokes that were at someone's expense. It's really loud out there, a motorcycle or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've made jokes at people's expense, and I look back at it now and I go, man, I feel genuinely rotten about that, and to the point where it's now I'm much better at being aware and cognizant of things that I say or how I feel or how I think. And every now and then I'll still find my mind slip to something almost instinctively. And for me, before it gets fully processed, to go, no, you don't think that. You don't believe that. It's almost like an old habit you're still just trying to kill slowly.
Or if you do, this is not the territory to launch it.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I've been watching Twin Peaks with Cassidy lately, and every time I see James, I think back to when we started The Return. James came on screen, and I said aloud, how many times do you think we will see this little bitch cry? Unironically, I have no idea why the hell I said it, and I cringe uncontrollably when I think about it. Could tell that you and Ariel had no idea how to respond either. I've learned a lot about positive masculinity since then. I just feel like I have to acknowledge it to move past it. Sorry about the douchey moment. And I think that is such a telltale sign of growth that...
I feel like I said that sentence today.
To whom?
This little bitch keeps crying.
To your boss?
No.
Oh, to your mom?
Close, though. Oh. Not my boss, but close.
Oh, gotcha. But to someone you shouldn't have said that with.
Well, I don't think I shouldn't have. I just...
Oh, you don't think you shouldn't have? You should have.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll...
You should have said it louder.
Well, I should have probably screamed at
You should have, tattooed it across your chest.
No.
Oh,
no.
That'd be really messed up.
No, actually, in terms of the context, it was completely appropriate to say.
Okay.
But if something feels like not the context, then yes, it's good
situationally, you find that there's times, and I guess it depends on what,
and that depends on how much you actually want to be. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you.
No.
That depends on how much you want to be primarily attentive to how other people feel versus what you just organically have to say.
Okay.
So I wouldn't call it douchey. I wouldn't call it fine. I wouldn't call it anything, actually. Just sort of, well, in that moment, what did it do? What did it mean? Where did it come from?
And also not to snapshot that, but to realize that it happened. And I think to acknowledge and even bring it up.
And
there's
probably a lot of truth in it anyway. Even if it was an appropriate thing to say, not an appropriate thing to say. He was probably being a little bitch, crying. Whoever you're talking about, I don't know.
Just character in the show, but maybe I don't. And so
it can be all of the above. It can be that shouldn't say it, and it's true. It can be all of the above. And when you know that, you don't feel the need to say everything you think. So
that's fair too.
It goes both ways.
And I mean, also, would you believe that there is a strong?
I miss Kevin.
I do too. Kevin is fantastic. A strong allowance between the kinds of jokes that you can say around some people that you can't say around others, or that you can say in public that you can't say, or that you could say in private but you can't say in public. What are your thoughts on just sort of like those kind of things? I mean, in terms of like your personal integrity, is it just sort of like knowing a situation? Okay. Yeah.
So I didn't follow your question at all, because what I started thinking about was you and the way that you have learned context propriety.
Yeah.
By saying horrible things everywhere. For a good amount of years.
And
having to learn what to shore off. So actually, I just started thinking about you.
That's okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair. I mean, because I'll be honest, like I say things to you that I would never say to my mom.
Right.
Terrible things.
Yes.
Like, I mean, truly heinous.
Let's see what you said to me today. Let's just take a look. What are some of the things John said to me today? Because I'm sure that they were wretched.
I think you started off being more aggressive than I did today.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That's funny. I was like, let's meet at 9. Okay. 9:30. Okay. Fuck you. I think is what it.
Okay, so this was yesterday. Let's get some gay horses together.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, like adopt them.
And I said, how many should we get? Should we fuck them?
Is this appropriate for the chat?
We're going to need a male and a female so we can both be gay with one horse.
Right, okay.
And that came out of nowhere. That had no context.
That's fair.
Okay, today, let's see. Eat a fat Italian dick, you said.
Oh, I said that to you? That was my...
Yes.
Well, I started off strong.
Yep, and ended like a little bitch.
Like a little... So a cognizance of how...
that probably wasn't helpful.
I mean, maybe not, but I mean, it helped me. I felt much better. Let's see. Some random YouTube video called James a crybaby bitch, and that was the first thing that came to mind when I saw him. I think it also depends on sort of your intent and understanding of words, and how you're using them and what you mean by them can be a very strong part of it. Because if I call you a crybaby bitch, I just think it's funny.
I think it's more so than anything, is it at the expense of someone else?
Is it genuinely at the expense of somebody else? That's the big thing. Are you doing it to be harmful? Are you doing it to be mean? Are you doing it to put down a group of people, a type of person, somebody who's marginalized? Are you making fun of this? What is the intent behind the words? Because I've said some of the most heinous things in the universe that I can think of to you. Mm-hmm. I've never meant a single one to ever harm you.
Yeah, and even if you did.
Oh, you wouldn't even care.
No.
You wouldn't be harmed.
No.
Therefore, it would be ineffective, so I could say them all day, even if I meant it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you could tell me to eat a big fat Italian dick and really want me to do it.
You kind of,
and I wouldn't do it.
You only had
just for you saying it.
Wheat today. Wheat for both sandwiches?
Wheat bread, yes.
Wheat bread for both sandwiches, not Italian.
I had American cheese.
And that's not Italian either, but...
Duh.
I mean...
Wheat American. Does that qualify as Italian?
It certainly doesn't. So when I tell you...
Dang. Well, then I obeyed very badly.
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't do a good job of that.
No, we were friends, and I need you to take accountability for your actions, because I'm not at fault here. I had very clear instructions.
You're not at fault if I didn't eat an Italian dick today.
No, I'm not. I actually
You're not going to take responsibility. It's your fault. I am a victim of the fact that I couldn't do it because of you.
You could very well have done it. They actually,
no.
I called that Subway and I said, make sure you have Italian bread in stock because my friend's going to come get a sandwich from you. I have no idea that she's going to do it tonight.
Which Subway?
Let alone 2 of them.
Which Subway did I go to?
I called Subway corporate. And I told them to watch the cameras.
All right, good.
Yeah, you went to the one on San Mateo. By the way.
I did disobey. I didn't go to the one on San Mateo.
I meant Montgomery. The one that's right across the street from us.
More of that.
Montgomery and San Pedro.
You haven't been to my new office.
No.
So you have no idea what.
How do you know I haven't been in your office?
I do know.
What if I'm astral projecting and I'm there right now?
You smell really bad. So if you're anywhere within a mile, I know it.
How do you know I'm here?
Because you stink.
It's fair.
Yeah.
All right, you got me. Cool. Thanks for showing up, Pixel Perfect. We appreciate that. Let's see. Okay, so there's a quote from Mewtwo. I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It's what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
Mewtwo said that?
Actually, yes, in the
Hold
movie.
On, let me see it again.
It's a great quote.
I see now. Circumstances are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
It's an actual quote from Mewtwo in the movie because he was cloned, so he wasn't born. He was created as a Pokemon. And so like he's struggling with this identity kind of thing because he's not, he was just brought here by scientists who just wanted to figure him out. And so like he's going through this whole movie struggling to try to be in power, to defy people that have created him. And by the end of the movie, he sees the relationship between the Pokemon, which are the animals, and the people, and sees that they care about each other and for each other, and realizes that, oh shit.
I like it.
It's actually pretty cool. It's kind of a poignant little
I like it.
ending to the movie. It's kind of neat.
I'm surprised you're not crying.
There's a scene in that makes me cry.
No, I mean literally. I'm not saying that funny. I'm surprised that didn't do that.
And maybe it's because I've seen that so much and I've actually it's brought me to tears before. It has. I think sometimes even when I watch it, because watching that movie literally does, but also I've watched it so many times that Yeah. But no, actually I do tear very easily when these things are being brought up and I'm talking about stuff that's really important to my heart and soul.
Yeah,
all the time. Yeah. All the time. I get all choked up. Yep. So yeah. Well,
I'm tired. I don't know how you're feeling. I'm really sleepy.
I'm mostly pissed off at you, but nice guy, National Socialist.
Kevin, I lost your number. You should text me. Okay. I lost it.
That's not really accountable of you. No, it is accountable because you take responsibility for losing it.
Well, I got it. I got
blame an outside factor.
I did get a new phone sometime in the last few months, and I haven't spoken to him in those few months.
Well, speaking to him right now, so get your act together.
I'm trying.
I'm trying. Not very hard. Kevin still doesn't have her number.
Kevin can text me right now if he wants to.
He has your number?
Yeah.
It's the same number?
Yeah.
You didn't back up your phone?
I don't have a different phone number myself.
So how'd you lose his number if you didn't back up your phone?
I didn't back up my phone.
Why not? That's what I'm asking.
Because I'm learning.
Oh.
I'm learning how to do life right. I didn't do that very well.
That's fair. My daughter wants that tattoo. A tattoo of Kevin calling Michelle.
Kevin calling me Mewtwo.
Yeah. A Mewtwo tattoo?
A Mewtwo tattoo.
Mew tattoo?
Seriously though, I just got extremely
dizzy.
Sleepy.
You need to lay down on the floor.
All right.
Pump your chest full of lead.
No, I really am sleepy. Like I need to go to bed now.
Yeah?
I have to be up early. I'm working a lot. I'm working too much. Yeah, Italians.
Yeah, exactly. Too many Italians.
So
I was on my contacts a while back. Things happen. But yeah, if we need to correspond, Kevin, I don't know what to tell you.
I'll get it from you.
From me?
Yes.
Sure, I got it. Okay. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. We appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to be able to talk to you, to have fun hanging out digitally, to discuss whatever's on our mind.
And it helps us to always stay in touch with each other.
I think it's good for both of us as well, yeah, because when we fall out of touch, I think it's legitimately a detriment.
We can go for months, which is all right.
Yeah, I like this. Is good for me.
Me too.
This is better for my soul than not seeing you is bad for my soul.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not like an emotional, where are you? You abandoned me, but
Right.
just you're good for me, I'm good for you.
Exactly. I think
we need to be more consistent.
Yeah, I think this is a very, very good thing to do. So,
helps.
yeah, thank you guys. And we'll see you next week. We can also start earlier if necessary because I don't have a shoot next week, so I could do sort of whatever. I'll be off work at 4, and I've got the rest of the night. I don't have a long day. We'll figure it out. We'll let you guys know. And if the time changes, cool. If it doesn't, well, it doesn't, I guess.
Well, that sounded true.
That did. It did. I pulled it deep within. Thank you guys.
Good night,
and
everybody.
we'll see you next time.
Mwah.